Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hello, come here. Rizzo would like to debut her new look for everybody today. Look at this little teddy bear. How's that for workout motivation, right? Look at that face. How can you say no to that face? More lifting, heavy weights. Oh guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. We have got a circuit in store, which you guys know I love circuit on a weekday. Nothing better than checking out, letting the timer do the work, telling you what to do. No more counting reps, none of that madness. Just work. So we are fixing I guess an oversight you'd call it, that I went back through all, I think this is 114 videos now, and hadn't found a upper body only circuit or a lower body only circuit. So we're fixing that. We did an upper body circuit last Tuesday, and then we're doing a lower body circuit today. So what are you going to need? You're going to need 1 to 2 heavy weights. And I say 1 to 2 because it just depends on where you want to throw weights in on these exercises. So if you want to hold 2 weights on certain exercises, you can, or just hold 1 weight, or no weights at all, also perfectly acceptable. There's really only one exercise where I'd say that you're really going to want to have a weight. Otherwise, you will be free to not use any. I will probably not use one for most of them. So there you go. So 1 to 2 heavy weights, and then a mini band. I called these for the longest time like a circular resistance band because I just didn't know if mini band would connect. So I'm trying to go back to proper language, but mini band is going to be something like one of these 2 options that I'm dropping on the floor and holding up for you here. So most of us have these guys, these little rubber bands. Nothing wrong with those whatsoever. They will definitely serve the purpose that you need. Or some of us have graduated to these fabric bands. Now they make them in all variations of difficulty. So, but I found that even usually the lightest one of these is still a little heavier than these. So if you're moving along just fine with these are plenty challenging. I wouldn't even sweat one of these guys. But if you're getting to the point that these don't feel super challenging anymore, then this is a great place to graduate. They're awesome because they provide not only more resistance, but they don't roll. You know how those rubber ones kind of get that like pantyhose roll to them? So those are great because they stay in place. But they are very challenging, and really I would say if you can buy them and test it out before you buy it, like buy it in a store, probably the best thing to do, because I've definitely heard stories of people buying them online and then getting them on and being like, what the hell? I can't even move my leg. So, pro tip. All right, and then the last thing you're going to need is just your yoga mat, your floor support, whatever it is that makes you comfy. Now, I am going to throw in one thing. If you have a step close by, a step somewhere in your house, and I mean like an actual step with a set of stairs, or if you have an exercise step, something like that where you can elevate your toes and do some heel raises to do calf raises, then that is something that you'll definitely want to have around too. But that is completely optional. You can use the floor. You guys know I usually do, but I was gifted this amazing set of weights, and so I'm going to use a weight plate. If you happen to have a weight plate, but none of those other things I said, a weight plate will work nicely for being able to elevate your heels and a calf raise. So that is pretty much it. So we're doing circuit. Our standard circuit is 8 exercises, 1 minute of exercise, 20 seconds off, and then we go through that, all 8 exercises, and then we take about a 2-minute break, and then we do it all over again. And we're going to do that 4 times. So that's the pace that we move at. It should get you sweaty, should get you hot. We're doing lower body, so that usually gets you sweaty and hot too, but it shouldn't be, probably not, like the level of a Tabata, if you did Tabata on Saturday, where we just work, and we're breathing and sweating and huffing and puffing. Probably not quite that level, but if you do get to that level, there's nothing wrong, okay? It's totally normal. So let's see, I think that's got everything. Add music if you need it. This is a great time to add music because you're not trying to count reps and focus. And modify as needed. This is lower body stuff. We all have tend to have some kind of lower body issues, so please modify as needed. I'll do my best to tell you how to do that. And the last two things, as always, please like, share, subscribe, comment, post, review, all of those things to get people paying attention to my page. I definitely have seen some great benefit when people share the page. I've seen some interactions, I get new likes, things like that. So if you've never shared the page before, consider doing it today and just see what a difference that could make for our group here at Strong Style Fitness. And lastly, if you wish to donate any funds for these classes, it is the only payment I receive for these classes, so donations are greatly appreciated. The easiest way is Venmo at Strong Style Fit. That's Venmo. I know I say that fast, assuming everybody knows what that is. V-E-N-M-O, Venmo. Strong Style Fit is what you'll search. You'll see my name if you know it, and you'll see this logo and know it's me. All right, guys, let's get started. Enough talking. So what you're going to need first for the first two exercises will be that mini band. So go ahead and get that on your legs. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, check on the video as always, and then we'll get started. Awesome, guys. All right. So let's go ahead. If you haven't already, I'm going to put my band on. Woo! And hopefully not trip and break my neck. And notice me. You know, I think that might be the first time I have ever sneezed on camera in 114 videos. That's insane. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is traveling squats. So we're going to step out and squat in, step out and squat in, and we're just going to do that back and forth for as long as we can. What I mean by as long as we can is not physically, but how much space you have. So just try to keep it even. If you take 4 steps one direction, try to make sure you take 4 steps the other direction. I'm actually going to lessen my band. I put that one on to step out. My knee was like, nope, that's a little much. So I'm going to drop down to one of these guys here. All right, guys, we're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So just pick one side of your room. We step out and squat. So I've got room for about 3 steps each direction. On my end, you take as many as you want. Like I said, if you're going to your left and you take 4, then try to take an equal amount of steps the other direction too. Your squats can also be as big or as little as you want them to be. Just make sure that your knees and your ankles are staying over one another, that you're not stepping out really far and keeping your knee in, or conversely, stepping narrow but flaring your knee out. You want to keep everything in alignment. All right, so next we're going to do alternating front and side leg raises with this band on. You can keep the band up high, or you can drop the band to around your ankles, whichever place feels more comfortable. You're going to feel the resistance a little different, but there's no right or wrong answer. All right, so I'm going to do 1, 2, set it down, 1, 2. If that feels horribly awkward to you, to just do a 1, 2, 1, 2, do a few on each side, do a few on the other. Again, just try to keep it even. Or if you want, you could stick with just the left for one round, just the right for the next, just the left, just the right. But you're going to burn up your hips and your booty doing that. So guys, these lifts are subtle. We're not trying to rocket kick up towards the ceiling. We're getting these lifts by squeezing our quad and then squeezing out through our hip. Quad, hip, and kind of side booty. That's what we're working. So it's not about how high can I kick, it's about how much can I squeeze. All right, so you can take these bands off. We won't need it again until the next round. And we're going to do a very different combo. We haven't done this before. It might feel a little awkward at first, but it's a really good combination. We're going to do a single leg deadlift with a curtsy squat. So we're going to set up our single leg, our little kickstand. We've got our left leg forward, little bend in that knee, kickstand, and our right leg. We're going to sit back into our deadlift, stand, curtsy, back to the kickstand, deadlift, curtsy, yeah, deadlift, curtsy. That'll get the booty, right? Woo! Perfect. We're going to come down to the floor, and we've got bear squats. We've done these a couple times lately, so they should be fresh in your mind if you've worked with me before. But of course, I'll explain it as we go. So we're going to come down to hands and knees. Get those shoulders nice and strong. Tuck our toes. When we lift our knees to hover. When we push our glutes back to our heels, push forward. Back to our heels, push forward. So we're not coming up like this. We're staying low, just driving heels back. Now, you can modify by bringing your knees up some, but you're still pushing those hips back towards your heels. You're not doing this. So intense in those quads. Do that single leg deadlift with the curtsy on the other side. I'll do this one facing the side just to make sure you guys get both movements. So we've got our right leg forward now, left leg kickstand, bend that right knee. We iron our pants down, sit those hips back, stand, curtsy. Got my weight in the wrong hand. Iron those pants down. Curtsy. And normally, okay, the weight feels right. There we go. So yeah, you want the weight on the same side as the working leg. I knew that's what I did the first time, but that very first one felt so awkward. Perfect. All right. So we have got a back lunge with a single pulse. We'll do that from the side too. So we're doing just single-sided. So we're doing just the left. So I'm going to interpret that as my left leg is the front leg, my right leg steps back. You interpret that however you want. So we're going to start at the top. We step back into our back lunge, and we're going to pulse once, drive up. Step back, pulse up, drive up. Step back, pressure here, push, not in your knee, in your heel. Push up. So that's where you're driving from, that heel. And your modification is just your depth. My knees are a little cranky today. unexpectedly, actually. I thought they were feeling good until I started working. So I'm not going quite so low. So back, up, down, drive it through. Step back, up, down, pull it through. All right, so we've got single, single, double calf raises. So this is where you're going to want to use your step, your weight, your anything that you can put the balls of your feet on to lift your heels. All right, so we're here. We've got our balls of our feet on our plate, and we're going to single, switch, single, double, single, single, double, single, single, double, single, single, double. You just need to get sick of hearing that. I'm going to stop. On these guys, it's really about dropping those heels low or to the floor if your feet aren't elevated. But it's all about that max squeeze at the top. You really want to take those heels as low as you can, or to the floor if that's as far as you can go, and then you want to squeeze like you're making the highest high heels that you can come up with. All right, guys, we've got last exercise, that same back lunge pulse, just with our right leg this time. All right, so we step back, pulse, drive it forward. Step back, pulse, drive it up. Up, down, and then all the way up. Up, down, all the way up. So just that little pulse is like pumping that air pressure into that glute, right? Woo! All right, guys, that's our break. We got 2 minutes. Catch your breath. And we're going to do this all over again. So it's important, kind of like if you took my Tabata class, you want to make sure that in this 2 minutes that you don't get really cold and cooled off. So don't go sit down or lay down. Just keep, step touching, pacing around the room, doing a little jog, something where you're keeping warm, you're keeping on a simmer, but you're also calming down a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. You want to go from a burn to a simmer, and then back to a burn. All right, we've got 1 minute 15. I'm going to check on the camera. We'll be right back. Guys, these breaks are also a great time. We have about 45 seconds. 1, to get your band back on, because we're starting with the bands again. But 2, evaluate your weight selection, your band selection, your selection for your calf raises. It's just a good time to kind of evaluate everything and make sure you're set up for success before we get started. Because otherwise, in things like circuit, when it is time, that is the one negative when things are timed, is that if something gets off, like you forgot your band, or maybe you feel like you're scrambling, trying to get everything set back up. So it's nice just to kind of have everything where you know it'll be, it's the right way, it's sitting where it needs to be, and that way you don't have to worry about it. All right, traveling squats, guys. So we step out and down. So just make sure that you're still sitting back into that chair. There's nothing different about this squat except that we're stepping out to the side and we have a band on. Everything else though is the same. We're sitting back into our deep seat, weight towards the back of our feet, chest up, all that's the same. Tail pointed towards the floor, not towards the wall or towards the sky. And again, you just want to make sure you're keeping your reps pretty even. Almost there. All right, we got those alternating front and side leg raises. And so guys, be mindful too, if you're someone like me who has chronic, knee pain, stuff like this is a lot of exercises to do, legs only, not giving them a break at all. So be mindful, like you might have heard me go, for some reason, on one squat, step out, my knee just got this like super sharp pain, and then stopped. So, I just say all that to say be mindful. Maybe if you don't normally do this many leg exercises and you do have some sort of chronic something, maybe don't do the weights today. See how your body reacts. Or do light weights or a lesser band. Again, I'm not encouraging anyone to take it easy. I'm just telling you to listen to your body. Like for me, this is a lot of leg exercise. So I'm only adding weights where I know I really need it, just to see how my body's responding. So far, it's not responding as I hoped. So I'm gonna stay low key with some of these exercises. That being said, if you have no problems and you are feeling awesome today, pick up those weights, put on that heavier band. It's your workout, right? I'm not there with you to see what you're doing, so I've got to count on you to monitor yourself and make sure that you are doing the right thing for you, whether that means easier or harder. All right, so get that single leg deadlift with the curtsy. Guys, be mindful on your curtsies. I know a lot of times we make curtsies this like really big, like I did right there, kind of step back. But they're really not supposed to be that huge. They're kind of close in. Good, good. So we get that slight bend in the plant leg. We sit our hips back. We don't squat down. We push the hips back like I'm trying to touch my booty to the wall. Squeeze to stand. Curtsy back. All right. So we've got those bear squats. Coming up. At the upper body, I don't have a good way to tell you a modification for that. If it's hard for you to be up on your hands, you could probably do elbows. Your shoulders would get tired though, I'm not gonna lie. Heels, hips coming together, and then you push away. Booty sits back to those heels, drive away. Hands nice and wide, shoulders strong. Still pushing that floor away, just like we do in plank. leg deadlift, curtsy, other side. And again, like last time, I'll do this one from the side, just so you can get a view of both directions. Put the weight in the right hand if we're doing the right leg. You've got that little bend in the knee. Hips come back. Stand. Curtsy back. Really targeting those glutes here. Hips come back. Push through that right heel to stand. Curtsy and back. Whew. All right. That is isolating to that booty cheek. All right, guys. We have got back lunge with that single pulse. So left leg is where I'm going to start. I interpret that as the left leg is the front leg. All right. Stand tall, square off those hips. Sit back, push up, down, pull all the way through. Up, down, all the way through. Good. So it's a controlled pulse. It's not just a quick. It's really a very thoughtful up, down, and pull through. So you come down, up, down, pull through. Down, up, down, pull through. Again, your height is your choice. You can be here. That's totally fine. You can be all the way down to the floor and up. Totally fine. It's whatever feels good for you. All right, we get that single, single, double calf raise. So again, it's all about the extension and then the contraction. So your lowest low, your highest high heel. That's what you're looking for here. All right. Single, single, and double. Be mindful, if you have really tight calves, you know cramps can come, so be very mindful of what you're doing here. We are not trying to end your workout with a case of killer cramps. We're just trying to hit every part of this lower body in this circuit. All right. We've got the back lunge on the right side. So yeah, calf raises I hardly ever throw in, but I thought 8 exercises, we're trying to target the whole lower body. Surely I can get some calf raises in there, right? That is part of the lower body too. I feel like calves are one of those things too, that like some of us just naturally have. Not that we don't build them. You know, maybe we just think we naturally have them because, like, I played sports all my life. So I probably built them playing sports all my life, but it just seems like they were just always there, you know? Like, I was never like, ooh, I gotta go work on my calf gains, you know? But then I meet people that have these, like, tiny little skinny calves. I'm like, wow. Just blows my mind. Not that there's anything wrong with it, of course. It's just such a funny thing. My shoulders, like I call it my shoulder girdle here, is so big, especially for a female. You know, so I pretty easily built up like the boulder shoulders, you know, that I know other people have to work so hard for it. It's just the way our bodies are made, you know. Woo! All right, that's our break. So I always said it's a good thing that I want to be athletic looking. Because in some places in my body I have no choice. It's just there. All right, guys, so hopefully you're hot, you're sweaty, a little out of breath. So, you know, I'm getting 3-4 words out before I want to pause and take a breath. That's a really good place to be. And our super cardio classes are Tabata. We get down to like 1-2 words before we have to breathe, and that's okay too. There's a time and place for that. This is a really good working place, a good endurance place to be, is a couple words before you have to catch your breath a little bit. All right, guys, we got just over a minute. Keep catching your breath. Remember, stay on that simmer. Don't cool all the way down. Also, already 2 rounds through. That's not a great thing about circuit. It just goes fast, you know? Tabata, that's the one that blows my mind. I mean, that is a class that just feels like you start it and you're done, and somehow you sweat 18 buckets, you know? All right, guys, we've got 30 seconds, so you want to start getting that band back on if you haven't got it back on already. And again, just making sure that your weight selection is what you want it to be, that your space is set up how you want it, that you've had some water. All right, guys, we're almost there, so go ahead and get in your starting place for those traveling squats. All right, so set it back, step it together. You can move this more quickly if you want than I am, because I'm having a little bit of angry knee syndrome today, so I'm just being more purposeful with my movements. But you can definitely speed this up a little bit, as long as you're not losing your form, as long as you're still fully squatting. You're definitely welcome to speed this up a little bit. Make sure you're really pressing into that band so your knees aren't collapsing in. Really press out into that band. That's what the band is for. So what I mean by that is, so when I stand here, see how it kind of pulls my legs in? I don't want to squat like that. I want to push out so my legs come into the right position. And to do that, I have to push out into the band. For some people, that's really like, duh. But for others, you know, you just feel like, okay, band's on, it's got pressure, and those legs just fall right in. All right. Now, if you can't do that, if you can't push your legs out to the appropriate width, it means your band's too difficult, and you need to step the band down, or if you don't have a step down, just take it off. So again, here it's all about the squeeze and the squeeze. Lift forward, lift to the side. That's why they're called leg raises, not front side kicks. It's very different. And of course, if you're having difficulty with balance, you can hold on to a wall. You know, I'm going to ask you to challenge yourself and try to balance on your own. But if you can't get through the exercise, or fumbling and bumbling, definitely grab yourself a piece of real estate to hang on to. Perfect. All right. Shimmy that guy off. All right, we've got our single leg deadlift with our curtsy. All right. Left leg forward, a little bit shimmy just a little bit off center. Give myself room to curtsy. Good work, guys. I said this is a different combination. I don't think we've ever done this one. Just be sure you're taking your time and you're hitting each move the best you can. Woo. Woo. All right, coming on down, those bear squats. Like ever since I sneezed, I've got the infinite sniffle. It just won't go away. All right, bear squat. Nice strong setup in those hands, super important. Strong in those shoulders, tuck your toes, lift those knees, drive back, push forward. So again, you can always modify by lifting your knees up higher, working from a higher position. You don't want to modify by lifting your hips up higher. So quad intense. Woo! All right, right leg, single leg deadlift, squat. All right, a little bend in that right leg, kickstand, deadlift down, stand, curtsy back. As always, guys, make sure hips are sitting back. It's not a squat. There's barely any bend to your knee involved in a deadlift. It's a static bend. Once you find it, that's where it stays. All right. We are on to back lunge with that single pulse. All right. Perfect. So step it back. Up, down. Pull it through. Again, we want to be working at this 90-90. Even if your knee isn't touching the floor, so see, I'm not touching the floor, but my legs are still in that 90-90. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for way back like this. There's a time and a place for that kind of lunge, but it's not now. Which is commonly used in yoga. So if you've done my yogi bar class, we have definitely done those in my yogi bar class. Whew. So yeah, extended, just generally not what we're talking about when we do lunge in a fitness class. All right, calf raises Oh, let's do it. Single, single, double. You probably see me adjusting my feet a lot because this plate isn't really wide enough for both of my feet. So I sort of have to adjust. But that is all right. It's so much better than the nothing that I've had all this time now. Good job, guys. Almost there. Woo! Look to the side, fall to the side. All right. Lunge on the other side. Definitely have sweat going, running down the sides. I feel it in my hair, feel it on my back, but not overwhelmed either. All right. Square it up. We step back. One. Pull it through. So again, your driving force is through that heel, pushing that floor away. That's your big driving force here. If you're someone like me who tends to let hip kind of fall out, it's good to leave your hands on your hips if you can, so you can feel and kind of hold those hips in alignment and feel if they do get out of alignment. Whew. Guys, it's 3 trips through. We've got just one left. Man, it goes so fast. It's crazy. So catch your breath. Towel off if you need to. Do whatever it is that you need to do to feel strong and feel ready for this last round. Give it all you got. So I spent a lot of time talking about modifying down if you need to. Let's talk about modifying up. So if you've got through these 3 rounds, you have no health issues, you feel good, you feel fine, you're enjoying your workout, you've got all the way this far, why don't you take this last round to add weights if you didn't add weights the first time? Or up your weight a little bit, safely, but up your weights a little bit. Or let's say you're modifying and you've only been doing 30 seconds each round, maybe try 40 this round. It's your last round. So this is your time to experiment, push yourself, see what you got. So give it a shot. And again, I'm not talking to everybody. Today's not that day for me. My body is telling me, keep it cool. But if you are feeling good, give yourself a push. It's the last round. It's the last time you have to do any of these exercises. So see what you got left, see what you can do. I'm gonna pop around, take a video. We got 30 seconds and we'll be back. Make sure you've got your band on. All right. So yeah, I know I talk a lot about modifying and modifying down and know that I do that. One, just to try to make it feel accessible for everyone. Chances are, if you're a fitness pro and you're here working out with me, then you already know how to push yourself, when to push yourself. So I definitely focus a lot on the helping people wind it down if they need to. But know that my intent is not to hold it back. I just want to make people understand that when it's beneficial to chill out and when it's beneficial to push it hard. That's why a lot of times the really push it hard classes, I make that the whole class so people know what they're getting into and we can really talk about that and dive into that. And let's face it, most of us, if we have come this far in fitness and we really like working out, we more err on the side of pushing ourselves too hard, right? Almost everybody does. I've met a few, I've trained a few that will err on the side of chill, that I have to push the other direction. Most of us push ourselves too hard. So I like to share the message that it's okay to rein it in sometimes, and that sometimes you are pushing yourself too hard and you're not really getting good work out of what you're doing. We've talked about that too. There's definitely a person, even pre-fitness in sports, that I was pushing everything I had to every limit I had. And there's a reason that by, 35, I could barely get off the toilet by myself because my knees hurt so bad. So, now that I've been recovered, I'm going to continue. I'm going to be in recovery my whole life trying to stay strong in those knees, but I like to kind of preach the benefits of maybe don't push yourself to 11 every time. But there are time and places for those 11s for sure, and I love those too. All right, single leg deadlift, curtsy squat. All right. Okie doke, friends. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'll keep with my pattern. So we're going to do the left leg deadlift, curtsy. I'm trying to be better. I don't think I've coached the single leg deadlift to death today. If this is your first workout with me or the first one we've ever done, single leg deadlift, and you just aren't getting it, I have lots and lots of videos where I really, really beat that horse to death about single leg deadlift. So you can absolutely go back and find a more instructional video on single leg deadlift. All right, bear squat. And if you're not sure which one to look for, just shoot me a message. I have many single leg deadlift coaches. In fact, I think I should probably just do one video, a short one. Just put it out there. Maybe that's a thought. Maybe I should start working on some instructional videos. All right. Push that floor away. Tuck those toes. Knees hover. And guys, so important, and I don't know that I've ever really covered this, but so important that whatever you have in the floor, yoga mat, whatever it is, when you're working on the floor, when you're on your hands, that it is non-slip. Even if your hands don't slip, but you're constantly fighting that slip, like on carpet, it's really bad for your shoulders and your muscles. Woo! Because you're putting all this extra tension and pressure into your hands trying not to slip, and you'll start creeping into your neck. So, if you feel like being on your hands makes all this weirdness kind of happen, notice if your hands are slipping a lot. So that's probably your culprit, is that you're fighting the slip the whole time in those hands. I only thought of that because my hand never slips on this mat, and it just happened to. And I just felt everything and my upper body grip up, you know, really tight. And a lot of times when I stretch before I come out here, I don't set up a yoga mat. I'll just work on the carpet and the floor. And every now and then I'll try to do like a down dog or something. Gosh, I'm trying to fight to keep my hands steady. Woo! It's a workout in itself, and not in a good way. So make sure you've got something really non-slip under your hands. Woo! All right, friends, you can put that weight out of your way. All right, so with the back lunge, with a single pulse. Now this is one, you know, I haven't told you to pull weights for this, but you could. So if you have it and you think you're up for it, why don't you throw 2 weights in your hands and see how that feels. Last round, and give yourself that challenge. Good job, guys. Where all the push is coming from that front foot. Ten seconds. Whew. The last 2 exercises, guys, and we are done with that single, double calf raise coming up next. Now this is one you could definitely hold a weight. And in fact, I normally would, but since this is so narrow, I'm just kind of throwing my balance off. I'm not gonna, but if you have a steady step on, then you can totally just hold a weight to your chest or down by your sides and do these. In fact, it's a great way to do it. I just don't have a steady enough base. And we'll give it that extra squeeze at the top. Exercise, and we are done. Somehow we're already there. So we've got that right back lunge with that pulse. Woo. Beautiful. All right, guys, let's do it. Step it back, up, down, drag it forward. This is the side where I like to jet a hip out. So keep my hands on there. Just as a reminder, I'm not pushing, I'm not really doing anything other than just reminding my hip where it needs to go. And when I do that, I find that I'm not pushing into it. So it's not a resistance, you know, I'm not still trying to do it. It's like just having that feeling of no, don't do it, is enough. Oh, I hear a little girl. I see my little wiggly girl. Hi, Rizzo. Ding, ding, ding. We did it, Rizzo. We did it. Oh, high five. Oh, good girl. We did our workouts. One more high five. Oh, kisses. High five. Oh, there it was. no, not upper, lower body circuit complete. We hit hips, we hit quads, we hit glutes, hamstrings, calves even. We did it all. So we have done a full lower body workout, 8 exercises, that's a lot, in less than an hour on the clock, and I think 45 minutes of work. So this is a great option if you're going to the gym. You don't have to fight a lot of people for equipment. You can get in and out fast and be done with it, right? So it's a great option. Portable, take it with you, take your phone, watch this on Facebook and do it along. It's perfect. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm not sure about Saturday. I may not be doing a video on Saturday. I'm deciding a couple days, so I may not be here for you on Saturday. I'll definitely be back next Tuesday, if not before. But guys, if you have any recommendations for classes that you'd like to see, please let me know. Obviously, some things get under my radar, so please let me know if there's anything you'd like to see. And then lastly, just the 2 things I always ask at the beginning and the end of every video. Please share, like, subscribe, leave a review, anything you can do to get more people paying attention to what we are doing here on Facebook and on YouTube. I also use Instagram a fair amount, so anything you can do to get the word out would be huge for us. And lastly, if you wish to donate any funds for these classes, if you're enjoying them and would like to thank me for providing the service to you, Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me, and anything you can give is greatly appreciated. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with me, and I will see you soon for another workout.